Yes, Zambo family, welcome to the Rythym Scoop Show on the Blackwood Financial Media for the 21st century. Be in just a few minutes to 4 p.m. Right here in Nairobi, we want to welcome you to another wonderful episode of Each and Every Other Day of the Week from Monday to Friday afternoon. Getting to connect and talk about what is happening with arts, entertainment, and culture, and news and updates from around the continent of Africa. My name is Spikes alongside my co-host Newsome.
Yes, family, what's up? Karibuni sana to the Rythym Scoop Show. It's all about entertainment, art, and culture right here on the Blackwood Fire Network. I hope that you enjoy the show. Karibuni, my name is Jovi.
Yes, Karibuni sana to another episode of the Rythym Scoop Show, and I hope you do get to enjoy this show. My name is Katie.
And being on a Thursday, we are ready to serve you some wonderful throwback vibes. But before then, we go back a little bit into music, and we play you a little bit of some music all the way from Zambia. We do have the one and only Paul Radzi coming from Zambia, celebrating his birthday yesterday, and I do believe he has new music coming up. We shall also be playing you a little bit of some new music from him. But for now, we go back into some music that he actually dropped. I think we had a bit hits. Let me see what's going on. Collect my phone. No. So my stream could not be created. I'll try again. Okay, maybe it's on my end. But family, we are having a bit of a hit there. On my end, it seems like it's a bit problematic, but we go back into music. Like I said, we do have the one and only Paul Radzi representing for Zambia. The name of the Zambia is Jealous. Let me know what you think about this particular one, and also let us know how your week is coming along, even as we are just getting started with this month of March in the that day. only Poraj. They are from the land where we used to have one of the singing presidents on the continent. There are not many singing presidents. You will find people who actually go on campaign trails and start singing. But we did have the president of Zambia. He used to go by the name Kenneth Kaunda. I believe he actually died last year. Yeah, he died last year, Kenneth Kaunda. And the first president? Yeah, the founding father of Zambia. He used to go on campaign trails and at some point start singing music. So I would also understand why we do have many Zambians are also turning or wanting to get into music. Maybe they were inspired or influenced by the first president who was Kenneth Kaunda. In a land rich with copper, you know, one of the exports that comes from the biggest exports, especially in the 70s and also in the 80s, I believe even in the 90s, was copper from Zambia. We did have the copper belt region, where a lot of mining was done, but I believe right now the price of copper has gone down. You know, it was replaced by other elements in terms of making components, and therefore Zambia is not doing any good as it used to do back in the 80s and the 70s. Right now it has been marred by Chinese debt, but we shall be talking about that as we get to proceed with the show for today. But of course today we are looking into what is happening in Ethiopia for a very, very long time. I believe from 2020 November, or was it 2020 November, or December, that is when the conflict started in Ethiopia with a country that was given a Nobel Peace Prize. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia, he was given the Nobel Peace Prize, I believe in 2019. But then again, right now we can see what has happened with the country. We do not have much to show for a Nobel Peace Prize. There isn't even anything to show for him being recognized as a leader who has brought together the people. It's actually on the contrary, which is actually a shame. But talking about Nobel Peace Prizes, I understand right now there is also a Kenyan who is expected to receive a Nobel Prize. And you know, when you do have these Nobel Peace Prizes being given, for me, I think most of the time it has to do with agendas that these Nobel organization wants to conduct on different African countries. I really not believe that has to do with the merit, because like some of the individuals that have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize on the continent, they include Desmond Tutu. If you ask me the contribution of Desmond Tutu, he died. Did he die this year? I think he died last year. When did Desmond Tutu die? Was it last year or earlier this year? It might have been earlier this year. But if you look at some of these individuals that have been given the Nobel Peace Prizes on the continent of Africa, their contribution really sometimes it's more symbolism than even action on the ground. That was earlier this year when you lost Desmond Tutu. And of course, even before that, we also did have Wangari Maathai, who also got the Nobel Peace Prize for her action in the environment. I don't know if you guys remember Wangari Maathai and her contribution, or how you remember. How do you guys remember Wangari Maathai? You, or for Katie or for Zoe?
For me, I remember her because of planting trees.
Yeah.
She did try as much as she could, in a way to us maintaining our environment and stop cutting down trees.
Yeah.
I think she was also, if I'm not wrong, an activist.
She was.
Yeah, there's a time she was beaten. I think that is the time. So many videos. I was young though I did get to see the videos where her hair was pulled and all that. Yeah, so that's how I know her.
I remember her for planting trees and being an
environmentalist.
Yeah.
She started a movement, I believe, which is the Green Belt movement, which is also, I think it's still conducting its work. The problem is, for her, she used to operate in an environment or in a regime where that was under Moi's regime. And if you remember correctly, Kenya was a one-party state in the 1970s and 1980s. I think Kenya became a multi-party state from 1997, if I'm not mistaken. But we used to have KANU, and KANU was the ruling party, and everything that KANU got to say, or the leadership of KANU got to say, became law. And for her being an activist, she was almost all the time against what the government was doing, because we know that corruption has been here even before multi-party regime on the continent, in Kenya. And so for her, she was a woman who decided she will go against the grain or go against the wave, and also fight for the rights of her people. She actually comes from a place known as Tetu, South Tetu, and this is in the central Kenya. Yeah, this is central Kenya, where she was also elected as a member of parliament, and she served for, I believe, close to 15 years. If I'm not mistaken, she might have served 3 terms, which is about 15 years as a member of parliament in Tetu. And she did get to commit in the works of the environment, conserving the environment. And for her, she was also given a Nobel Prize in, I believe, about 2003, 2004, there about between 2003 and about 2008. That is when she received the Nobel Peace Prize, although she did not even live long enough. I think after she was given this Nobel Peace Prize, maybe she lived for like 10 years, and then she died. If I'm not mistaken, with that I'll be taking on my facts. But I was saying that for the irony that is there with the Nobel Peace Prize given Abiy Ahmed, this prize that was given to him, and then the country plunging into chaos. I would say that there is a lot of questions that would also come up with that. But nonetheless, we shall be having that conversation. But I will go a little bit more into music. I'll get a little bit of some vibes by the one and only Kappa Dre. The name of the song is Independent. When we come back, we shall be talking about reconciliation and dialogue efforts in Ethiopia, where we do have a country with about 81 ethnic groups. Yeah, we do have 81 tribes in Ethiopia. And you can see that every other tribe, it's almost trying to pull on its own way. And therefore, that is why we have had these big division in the country. The Oromos, we do have the Tigrinyas, and many others. We shall talk about it when we come back.
If you fall in love like I do, pasinipende mama. If you want designer, buy for you. Junakupenda sana, but when you get to hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Pasinipende, usinyatinyende, yeah. Pasinipende, I get it for you. Sing a little song as you dance to the tune, yeah. Tari-ra-ri-ra for you. For you, oh baby, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as you dance to the tune. Yeah. Ta-di-da-di-da-da-da, ta-di-da-di-da-da-da. Ubasinipende, usinyatinyende. Ubasinipende, usinyatinyende. Losing my chance for you. Kill a boy and I die for you. I will stand like a pyramid. To feel, yeah, hallelujah, yeah, I will die for you, yeah, hallelujah, yeah, I will die for you. But when you get to hakuna gado, all I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Usinipende, usinyatinyende, yeah. I see play a guitar for you, sing a little song as you dance to the tune, yeah. Ta-di-da-di-da. For you, oh baby, play a guitar for you. Sing a little song as you dance to the tune. Yeah. Ta-di-da-di-da-da-da, ta-di-da-di-da-da-da. Hustle on my side, new tricks. Imagine I'm so in a man for Britain. Put the shape of glad in vain. I feel the pain when walking in rain. Do ya come at me? Cause you got the yummy in me. The reason to love you indeed. The reason to put to mercy for your family. Na 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 na, yeah. Asinipende. Na 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 na, yeah. Baby nipende. But when you get to hakuna gado, all I can offer, baby, she got love, yeah. Asinipende, usinyatinyende, yeah. Play a guitar for you.
Napita na mita ya mtaku ipa milimita. Napiti ya mita kadana ikishwa mamita. Juni mama sita Dem ameiva ana trend kama ngana. Dem anajulikana trend kama ngana. Kuna vile anagawa watu wengi tuko wengi kama tinga nyumba kumi. Form ni bedi saka teja matasema kuji. Mafanzi wengi kaba za njugu nyama kima. Dish ni nyanya supu ya mama pema. Yosi dai kuja kuna vile nina dai kusima. Maji imekatika niteku inapampia stima. Gizani anapenda kutenda ushirikina. Ni mdebi siezi jizuea. Napita na mita ya mtaku kuipa milimita napitia mita kadana ikishwa mamita juni mama sita dem ameiva ana trend kama nganga dem anajulikana trend kama nganga kuna vile anagawa kila siku na kwa nidao.
Yes, that is Gusto Gabu. The name of the jam is Trend, which actually also comes from a pastor that actually did. He's always in the limelight. He goes by the name of Pastor Nganga, and the artist decided to also sample a little bit of the voice from Pastor Nganga. That is why you hear someone saying at the back, "You're Trend." But anyhow, family, today we're having a conversation about Ethiopia, and the thing is with Ethiopia. I did say that there is a whole lot of tribalism that has plunged this particular country into chaos. And even before we talk about Ethiopia, you realize that Djibouti and also Eritrea were also once part of Ethiopia. You know, the bigger part of Ethiopia. It's known as the Horn of Africa. If you combine Ethiopia, Somalia, it used to be, I believe, one big mass. But because of this division, we did have different communities. For example, in Eritrea, we have 11 ethnic groups. So for them, they decided to break away from the other 81 and make their own small group and have their own country, which is Eritrea. And also for Djibouti, which is one of the smallest countries in Africa, for Djibouti as well, they still also have their own ethnic groups in Djibouti. And this makes matters even worse, because even for them, I wish they were part of Ethiopia, because they would make a whole lot of sense, because Ethiopia would not be landlocked. If at all we did have Djibouti being part of Ethiopia, then we would have all the advantages that a country gets to enjoy when they do have a seaport, and they can be able to bring in the goods, which is what Ethiopia really gets to need. But apart from that, what has happened is that there has been the leadership, which in January 7th, Ethiopia now celebrating the Christian Orthodox, because we know the Christian history of Ethiopia. They are like the churches of Lalibela and other different churches there. They are, very, very much Orthodox, and they do have their Christianity. They follow, they have different religions, but they follow mostly Christianity. So on January 7th, when they were celebrating the Christian, the Christian Orthodox celebration, the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed did announce amnesty. And this is for top high-profile political prisoners or people that had been arrested last year. And this is because he said he was doing this in an effort to try and foster a national reconciliation. I would imagine some of these prisoners that were released were coming from the Tigrinya, as well as other different tribes or ethnic groups in Ethiopia. So apart from that, the move came also followed by a call for a national dialogue by Parliament. And right now, this is the question: would a national dialogue facilitate the return of a peace in Ethiopia? For me, I would think it depends on how it is done. You might have a national dialogue that is not focused on the truth. In other countries, we have had what we call the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. For example, in Kenya, let me just even briefly talk about Kenya. In Kenya, there was a formation of a commission, but this commission was known as the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. And this was supposed to bring together different communities and also get to understand what is the problem when it comes to the war between, or the conflict between different communities. And for me, I would think there was a report that was tabled by the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. But the thing is, even if this report was tabled down, the implementation of the recommendations given by this commission, the government really does not have the goodwill to follow up and say, this is what was brought up by some of these communities. The issue has to do with the land, because of course land is a very, very critical issue. And other resources, for example, they are shared resources, maybe rivers, where people get to get their water and other things like that. And the government would now receive a report like that saying, we want now to work with this commission in terms of getting to effect these some of these recommendations. Of course, recommendations also come at a price, but also the goodwill for Kenya has not been seen. The goodwill by the Kenyan government has not been seen. I don't know if you guys remember the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. Do you think it helped Kenya in terms of uniting us, the 47 tribes in Kenya?
Personally, I don't remember. I don't remember
the Truth, Justice.
Well, for me, I think I've heard of it, but when you look at all these motions that are coming up with the leaders, it is always not a motion. There's a certain agenda either they are always pushing, which is going to be beneficial for them, because I don't see, if you were to say you know, as either Kenyan or maybe whatever Ethiopia is, you know, trying to do. If we were to do this, it would have been done in a very long time ago. But when you look at the African continent, we have so many people are leading us. We have the African Union, which I think is supposed to bring Africans together or work under, you know, the interest of, you know, Africans. You know, you're supposed to do that, but we've not seen any of these practices or acts being done. So with the motion, whatever they're trying to pass, I don't think it's going to happen, because still remember, leave alone even Ethiopia, if we say this was to, rather it has been represented in Kenya, we still have politics which are going to be always, you know, tribe is always going to lead. So there's no way you can tell me we're going to come together and we have different multi-parties in politics which are, you know, dividing us.
But I think it might work. This depends on how they conduct. They conduct the whole thing.
Reconcile the dialogue. Because most of the time when it comes to dialogue, people are really not even honest, you know, with the dialogue. They might do it to pretend, or they might do it really just for the sake of ticking a box, which is crazy. But right now, of course, like I said, Ethiopia did create a national dialogue commission. And now, of course, this is to end the conflict in the Tigray region, and the lawmakers did approve the forming of this commission. And but of course, some of the officials said that they should have excluded the Tigrayan leaders, which I think would have also been hypocritical, because national dialogue, and wanting to exclude the people of Tigray, it doesn't really make any kind of sense. But for them, please stepped up pressure on Ethiopia to de-escalate violence, as horrific reports of human rights abuses were brought on on the spotlight. The commission, whose creation was promised by the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government, is meant to establish common ground for contentious issues. Like I said, some of the issues would include land, because many people want to fight for land, and they say this was originally our place, and you know, other groups have now come up and taken ownership of the land, or these was originally under the control of us. The water from maybe this place. Or there are many things that are actually disputed over. But the commission excludes the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front and the Oromo Liberation Army, both of which have been fighting the Ethiopian National Army and declared terrorist organizations by the East African nations. So
met you about a week ago, and you got me feeling like whatever though. You didn't say I don't fall for you, but you been on my mind with that booty though. See the way that you whine, got me at the door on time. Can you blow my mind? Wind up your waist, control me. Give it to me, baby. Wind up your waist, control me. Say give it to me, baby. Wind up your waist, control me. Say give it to me. Yeah, she got me stuck up on that low key. She really good, just like that OG. All on me, all on me. Yeah, she ice cool, like that ice cream. She my lover and yeah, she my homie. I call it all booty in a movie. And I'm ass like a stripper. I lose my mind every time you whine on the pool, whine on the pool, whine on the pool. Whine on the pool, whine on the pool, whine on the pool. So give it to me, baby. Wind up your waist, control me. Give it to me, baby. Body there tonight, but baby, know they found for me. To know they found for me, found for me. I know you one day come my way tonight. Baby, don't you found for me. To know they found for me. Girl, all you gotta do is give it what you gotta do, baby. Wind up your waist, control me. Give it to me, baby. Wind up your waist, control me. So give it to me, baby. Wind up your waist, control me. So give it to me, baby. Wind up your waist, control me. Wind up your waist, wind up your waist.
yes, that is. Apologies, family. That is a bit of heat right there. But I do see Derek Askew, you're with us. You're saying morning. and also dissolved all salvage. I am not sure how that is going to happen because the African Union is always reactive until things have gone pretty south, and that is a problem we do have. For example, right now, I understand that the African Union was witnessed on the Polish border with Ukraine, but the matter that is when you'll find the African Union also turning up and hide any kind of racism, and has said that is not the truth or the matter or the fact of the matter on the ground.
That is affecting us as Africans, and that is in terms of economy, and why so many Africans are also running away from Africa itself. And when you get to see with what we have, Kenyans, Ghanaians, like so many Africans across the continent, but they're also saying that there is a reason why so many people are leaving Africa trying to go and invest in this. That is when the effects after we're there, like you've learned, let's say your mission is to go to US, you want to take your kids there, study there, you want to invest there, but once something happens, you'll not be able to go back or take your investments back because they are under the rock chart. This is another, these are Mzungu's continent, but they're saying that wealthy Africans are leaving the country in search of good and secure life. And other reasons also include chasing better markets and investment venues, and enjoying the quality healthcare outside the Africa is very expensive.
Sure.
And these, when you look at our continent, even in terms of business, like when the pandemic hit the country or the continent, most of the people's business were affected. So you find that you are stranded, you can't trade within your country or your continent, you can't do this, you can't import this. So most of the people during that particular time, because it has been like almost a period of 3 years, most of the people, when you look at like Rwanda, Uganda, we had Rwanda and Uganda borders closed. So when the borders were opened, the people were shocked. Rather, these people were in charge of these borders. They were shocked. They didn't see people trading the way they really expected. This because people had to come. When you look at Africa still, even because one, tribalism, which is also like affecting a lot of us, that we are being limited. Not only by our we have tribalism. Most of the politicians, when they retire, you ask yourself, why is it that someone went broke or they don't have this? It's because even you, as let's say even a celebrity or maybe someone, if you get money in Africa because you already maybe known, your name is on the top, so you want to invest in other countries, not to be seen like and unacheza ligi kubwa, unaget it, so like you're playing the big league, so you're going to invest, let's say in investing on, so you're going to invest in this country, or maybe let's say in Mauritius or maybe New York, but when you're trying to get this money back, it won't be easy for you as an African. So at the end of the day, what my point is, instead of us trying to run away from the continent, everything is hard. We have education, misled education and all this. People are trying to find that hard. But again, the same education is the same thing we're being given here. So let us invest in the continent. It's, eliminating tribe, stop hating each other, stop hating my business. You can't support me because I'm coming from this place, which is crazy. So that is my own thought.
And I agree with you, because at the end of the day, you find people going and investing in other places outside Africa. Putin was good to have said that Africa is taken as a cemetery where people go, especially these people that take the money from government, the thieves. They will go and take a whole lot of money from different, go outside the country and spend it on, squander the money, and then only to come back and be buried on the continent. I think it should be a focus on developing our own continent first before going and talking about this greener pastures. Yeah, I understand there is a need, for example, Europe, there is nothing wrong with that, going and getting educated and getting that knowledge. But at the same time, it's also good that people also have that desire and a need to come back on the continent and also build the continent, because we all keep on talking about, Africa is not good for investment, Africa is not, is not developed, we do not have proper infrastructure to do the team on the continent of Africa, and also try to build it, as an African people, instead of waiting for everyone else to come and build, because that has been the thinking of African people, that someone will come from the outside and come help Africa. That is why you find many governments or even many countries waiting on grants. They want to get the grants from the European Union. They want to doing for ourselves, which is very, very much important. But we also do have another story from Katie.
Yes, and my story, it's on the entertainment sector, and we all know Ben Sol. So Ben Sol sang the song Nairobi, and he decided to do actually what he was saying on the song. Ben Sol was caught cheating, and he agreed to that, and he said that I cheated on my girlfriend, and I impregnated another lady. Not heard the song Nairobi. He talks about how you share your girlfriends with other men, and you sleep with this, you know this is your girlfriend, so this girlfriend sleeps. That is what goes on in Nairobi. So he decided to do what actually he meant in the song, and now people are coming trolling him in memes everywhere. He sang this song to motivate or to tell people stop doing this, but now he's the one being seen doing the same thing. What do you think, this person, because you are the one telling us how Nairobi goes or what goes on in Nairobi, then you are caught doing the same thing you talk about in your song?
Probably, I know artists have artists, DJs, entertainers, and other celebs like that have access to many women. I would presume because of their popularity in being on TV, being on magazines, being on newspapers and things like that. But I think I would also say maybe a man like that knows that he has he has access to many women, but it should be a matter of integrity and a matter of, anyhow, there's nothing new under the sun. I don't think this story has actually surprised me. I know I've had, for example, let me even go to the States, someone like Nick Cannon, or someone like there are so many people you find with a whole lot of baby mamas, and you get to ask yourself what's going on, people, how to live or who to go, anyhow. There is nothing new under the sun. Ben Sol, what he did is that he was exposed, I think, by one of the blogs, and he actually responded and said, I wanted to do
Edgar Barry.
Yeah, and he said, actually Edgar Barry posted it before this matter, and said, I meant to come up and say what happened. So we met up with this lady at an event in Mombasa, and we slept, I slept with the lady, and now she's expecting, and things like that. But anyhow, we should expect, sometimes we want to expect the support in his actions, but I would say he ought to do better, and
also words are strong. So you can, they say words are strong, but they be careful of whatever you say. Words are really, really strong, and have come either in a positive way or in a good way, in a bad way.
I agree with that 100% because it's a power in our tongue. But you go back a little bit in the music, and when you come back, we shall continue the conversation about the justice and the dialogue, the national dialogue, and also the impact, if any, of the commissions that are set up by the government to sort of bring or make an impact. Kenya has done it. Right now, Ethiopia has done it, and I believe many other African countries that have set up a national dialogue commission, for mere symbolism, to show people that is something going on with that. But this is Park Seed Band, so the name of the song is Follow Me. Let me know how you think of this particular one. Yeah, when you come back, I would like to engage Shepo Simon. I understand even in South Africa they might have a national commission. For Gambia, they also call it the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. We also did have right now in Ethiopia, they're calling it a national dialogue to investigate gross human rights violations and other historical injustices. Some of them are
being... That case is still ongoing up to date, even in The Hague, because I think it was passed after the election. We did have different communities actually attacking other communities because of the 2007 elections. So you would have the Kalenjin attacking Kikuyus in then also getting in fights with the Kikuyus election because it has to do with matters of power. But we shall be indulging in that question. Do this national dialogue and this commission set up to bring people together or bring communities together get to work? That is my question when we come back from this break.
You be my girl, follow me, I give you
the show, we always talk about, sometimes you're complaining, like Eric Omoni said, we are playing a lot of Nigerian music, but it's jamming, and in Ethiopia. And there was a bill that was passed making by Parliament allowing for the formation of a commission, which is a National Dialogue Commission. But right now there is also some of the European Union. I would say I'm skeptical about the intervention of the European Union and the United Nations, simply because it has nominated. It has she was the one Fatou Bensouda, who has now been appointed to pass on commission by the United Nations. To also get involved with the dialogue. So the president of the Human Rights Council, Ambassador Federico Kahari Betty Murungi of Kenya, and Stephen Ratner of the United States of America, to serve as the 3 members of the International Commission of Human Rights Experts in Ethiopia. Ms. Bensouda will serve as the chair of the 3-person commission. This fell apart. She was a prosecutor that was supposed to be prosecuting the case for Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, because both of them, this is the president and the vice president, evidence. So both of them were let scot-free.
Recently, right now, he has a case in The Hague because he was told that they had on the 2 cases. So now he's the one facing those. That
do not go hand in hand, because we also do know that the UN who founded it, we have talked about it right here on the Blackout Far Network, and also the UN in countries such as the Central African Republic, also countries such as Somalia, also other different countries where they have been sent for quote unquote peacekeeping. And therefore, you cannot tell me that the United Nations, the human rights creation, that maybe perhaps they would also like these situations to also remain the same on the ground. But also for a woman, or for this leader, she is from Gambia, Fatou Bensouda, and she failed. I would say she failed because if at all she nabbed these 2, the president and the vice president, I think Kenya will be globalist, and the world government, they also take orders. I don't think the ICC is really that independent. This is my personal opinion. It does not reflect anyone else's opinion, but I'm saying I don't think the ICC is really that independent, because even when it comes to prosecution of our cases, it's only Africa. If at all, I have really not had, if maybe there are any presidents from European countries that have been taken to the ICC, I would love to know. Yeah, it's always Africans that are taken to these international criminal courts. And you wonder, does it mean that I would think that there is also some tendency to also be brutal with Africans, and in the name of delivering justice? And I don't think any community has been given justice. There was a case that was deliberated upon, and this was a case that was involving one of the generals from the DRC Congo. That is the only person I know that has been charged. And even for those, for this case, the examination of this particular case, I don't think people got real compensation. I don't think they're but anyhow, right now these 3 individuals have been chosen.
There was no compensation because the 2 were not found guilty.
Came off it. But anyhow, we was asking an important question: will the national dialogue in Ethiopia help the country get back on its feet again? Because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we do have 81 ethnic groups in Ethiopia. And all these groups, some of them, the attainment of independence, the quote-unquote attainment of independence, for example, in a country like Rwanda and in other different countries, we used to have the colonizers pitching one community, another different community, and saying for the country in Rwanda compared to the two seats. And this is also the same thing that has happened with many other different African communities. So you're told the Kikuyus, the power is left in the hands of the communities, and then this community gets to abuse the rights of these other different communities that some colonized, which is also a matter which is contested. The war was with the Italians, and you cannot really tell me that it wasn't colonized. It was still under the control of the Italians, if you do get to ask me. But like I was saying, and other political observers did get to voice their fears that the capital the capital may fall before too long with what has been happening with Ethiopia. There were also reports that the Tigray People Liberation had already established a so-called caretaker government in Washington, D.C. And I would say that there is also the foreign element of this. And if at all Ethiopia was to get its giant, not just an economic giant, but the powerhouse of East Africa, we have seen what is working in Ethiopia. Not everything is working, but for example, for the Grand Renaissance Dam project, it's working. For the airline, the Ethiopian airline is still doing the export of flowers as well. Those are areas that are doing very, very well. But this is the Tigray fight, the fight with the Tigray is a dark cloud that cuts doubt over area. He had decided to lead the battlefront, and this was not making things any difficult for the Senegal. You know, he scattered, and he had to go back to the Gambia, but this is because of the war in Ethiopia. And you also do find, as much as we talk about Ethiopians are coming together, there is a whole lot of even internal that are mixed with the Arab, also wanting to fight against these other groups of people, and this also poses a very, very big threat in terms of peace. That is why we do have conflicts ensuing in a country which should be very, very far ahead by it. Then you would think that we'd have a lot of civilization going on with a particular country. For me, I think dialogue would work. I think dialogue, it depends on how this dialogue also is structured, or how this dialogue is actually mission like this. And these recommendations should also be implemented, and there should also be a goodwill by the government, you know, a goodwill, you know, allocating resources equitably, because one of the things that happens is in a country like this, we have what you guys also would say are all the same as we're getting closer to one another. You guys actually given a zone out from Zombie here, which is what's going on with that. But we play all game, and then we come back. We shall be almost one and a half with the conversation.
She got it back.
Get it right there, even as we're getting to wind up these conversation and the show Rythym Scripture right here on the Blackwood Financial. It has been a delight getting these platforms on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on Twitter. You can let us know how you're feeling and how your days are coming up. And also, even as we get to work, of course, with the Blackwood Financial Media for the 21st century. It has been a delight, unless maybe Kate and Joby has closing remarks as well.
Tomorrow, same time, same place. This has been. What is funny? Why are you laughing? Have you ever had that serious? Why are you running?
We also do have Eric Askew as Simone. Thank you so much for being here with us on the official network. It's www.blackwoodfinetwork.com. In case you haven't signed up on the official network, please make sure you do.
What is Kate laughing? Because I don't know what is funny.
Please make sure you do. You will be able to connect with everyone else on there. If you have links or stories, all actually information you would also like to share with us, you are pretty much welcome to do so. Part of the day, have an enjoyable one. The worry, you're saying that the problem with South Africa has to do with white domination more than it has to do with tribalism. I would like to concur on the same. You're saying it has to do with the issue of racism, and you're also saying that all the problems of white supremacies, the South African and the African American, no, this is just bullshit or whatever, or it will never change being oppressed by everyone else. Period. It is childish and sure going to go. And also, it's different because South Africa was about white people and their crimes on black people, not on black crimes because of tribalism. Yeah, I also concur with that. And also, what it should be solved because it was never created to help Africa or solve African problems. What happens, like I was saying earlier, is that it's mostly very, very much reactive instead of being proactive. That is a problem that we do have with the African Union on the continent. And Sister Libya, you're saying it's called white depravity. And also, you're saying hi family, hi to you too. Thank you so much for being with us. Make sure to catch up, to catch us on the next episode.